Hello, my name is Casey Grings. I am a multimedia painter from Minneapolis, Minnesota, United States of America. I am a current undergraduate student going for my Bachelor of Fine Arts degree from the Minneapolis College of Art and Design, where I am majoring in drawing and painting and minoring in teaching artist. And I'm also the artist that submitted and am part of A-Life for cyberdomestic aesthetic and maintenance. And so I am holding maintenance is the painting on the dead laptop, and cyberdomestic aesthetic is the 182.2 centimeter by 91.4 centimeter canvas. Sorry, those are some weird dimensions, but it translates better for the measuring system of my country, which is usually the 6 feet by 3 feet. So that's why it's like some odd numbers. Anyways, these are some more detailed shots of cyberdomestic aesthetic. So as you walk past cyberdomestic aesthetic, also maintenance, the screens of the laptops change because I was experimenting with sheens. So I wanted to turn the laptops on with paint, like as if they were lights made from light. And you can see that happen in this video. Since this is a not in-person event, this is probably the closest you'll get to actually experiencing the painting in person. Yep, and this is a detail of maintenance, which has similar qualities if you were to walk past it, but I didn't take a video of it. But you can kind of see the shininess of the interference blue on the screens in this frame. So why did I create this, and why did I submit cyberdomestic aesthetic and maintenance to A-Life this year? Well, last year I was really getting into the philosophy of posthumanism, and specifically the philosophy that was going over, or the subcategory of posthumanism that covers A-Life and like cyborgs, which I know are very different, but they do kind of coalesce and mingle, I think. And I think cyberdomestic aesthetic and maintenance kind of cover artificial life in a very metaphorical sense of being influenced by computer programming, as life being influenced by computer programming. And I think that I was experimenting that with how humans are being programmed by computers and how we are programming computers, and how that relationship affects our psychological state and physical state. There's a lot of addiction and a lot of things at play here, and this has definitely been exploited during the COVID-19 pandemic, where we had been forced to be on the virtual realm, connected to our smart devices at all times to communicate with the outside worlds. And there's a lot of questions at play, like how this will affect us as a species in the future, and all of that. And as far as actually building this project, or creating it, sourcing my material, I got a bunch of dead laptops from friends. I made a call on my social medias asking for them. So in a way, I was also using the internet to get this project going. And I was very convenienced because I had a friend that worked at a junk removal service, and there's a lot of e-waste and junk removal services. I'm pretty sure maintenance came from an office somewhere or something like that. And to create the image for cyberdomestic aesthetic and maintenance, I actually use reference video. So here's a video of me creating the image that I was going for, trying to set up an atmosphere of being overwhelmed by being connected to technology as a human user of these robots and machines. And this video is actually much longer than I cut it down, but I just wanted to give a glimpse. because it was just the reference material. And then as far as how I was like prepping the substrates or the painting substrates, so on the right you'll see a very traditional way of setting up like a stretcher bars to stretch a canvas over, which I did for Cyberdomestic Aesthetic. And then on the left you'll see me doing a non-traditional experimental of painting or prepping the surface of a screen of a laptop as if it was a canvas. And you have to do it in a very strange way where you have to sand the screen down with some sandpaper and then use gesso, which is a painting primer, on top of that, and go back and forth between layering gesso and sanding until it's like a very dense layer of gesso laying on top of this screen before you can begin the process of sketching and painting. And then in the next screen you can see me kind of doing some sketches and beginning the process of the painting. And I didn't really document this, but for Cyberdomestic Aesthetic I masked off some areas where I was going to keep acrylic and not let oil touch, because you can't like put acrylic on top of oil, otherwise it cracks. So the areas that you'll see in the beginning with this shiny part with the hot glue and the interference blue and the screens, that's acrylic, because you can't do that with oil. So I had to be very careful in the surrounding areas not to get the oil on top of that. And it was difficult, but I pulled it off. And that is how I made Cyberdomestic Aesthetic and Maintenance. Thank you so much for having me part of A-Life. I am so incredibly honored, and I think this is a wonderful event. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day.